Brazil has been in the limelight for all the wrong reasons, with Brazil's PMI at a 70-month low at 47.9 and Brazil's inflation rate reaching 8.13, a record high, and Mexico's inflation rate and industrial production out at the end of the week. Will Mexico follow in Brazil's footsteps, or is Mexico in the all clear? I'm joined today by Bruno Rovai, Research Assistant Vice President for Barclays. Welcome, Bruno. Brazilian PMI for March was described as short-lived, decreasing to a record 70-month low of 47.9 for March 2015. With Brazilian inflation reaching 8.13 and interest rates rising, the US dollar and the Real currently stands at 3.12. Given this, what is your immediate outlook for Brazil?
So the data that we had during the first quarter of this year, it gives further support for my outlook of a recession in Brazil during 2015. So as you noted, the PMI and more broadly confidence indexes from both businessmen and consumers have all nosedived year to date. So when we had the fiscal consolidation, tighter monetary policy, and political tensions between the government and the Congress, they all should all contribute for this recessionary environment in the country. So I forecast that real GDP in Brazil should fall by 1.1 percentage point this year.
Mexico's economy tends to move in tandem with the US. How do you expect the peso to move in the short term, in light of the previous non-farm payrolls and the future FOMC minutes release?
So the lower than expected non-farm payrolls last Friday, as well as likely a dovish tone in today's FOMC meeting minutes, given the lower estimate for growth and inflation from them, should all favor the Mexican peso in the very short term. But however, we still forecast a depreciation of the peso towards the year end. So we expect Mexico to wait for the Fed to start tightening the monetary policy before it does. And in that sense, the peso should move towards 16.5 by the end of this year.
Falling commodity prices are expected to be a dominant theme in Latin America. Unlike Brazil, Mexico's economy is tied to exports, accounting for almost a third of GDP. With the question mark still looming over Iran's lift in oil sanctions, how could this correlate with both economies?
So we believe that in Mexico, the fiscal accounts will be facing challenges, not only due to lower oil prices, but also because of oil production, which has contracted faster than expected. So furthermore, the decline in oil prices has also reduced the attractiveness of many of the oil projects that were expected to be deployed as a result of the energy reform, particularly on the shale and unconventional. So which yield production would be faster and could have provided relief for the government. As a consequence, we expect additional expenditure cuts since the government will continue reducing the fiscal deficit next year and keep the 2015 target unchanged. We estimate that a 2.1% contraction in oil production during the next year, it should reach 2.2 million barrels per day from 2.3 million barrels per day this year. And this only could reduce growth by 50 basis points. And this development, combined with lower oil prices in the fiscal budget, will imply actually a reduction of 9% in public investments. And this should shave an additional 45 basis points from growth. So you can see this is all downside news for Mexico next year. Now, on Brazil, the effects of the declining oil prices are somewhat more muted. The country is a net oil importer, so the oil balance actually widened its deficit in recent years, and therefore a decline in the oil prices should only improve the trade balance.
And what is your predictions of Mexico's industrial production data release on Friday, alongside inflation rate data released tomorrow?
So for the Mexican industrial production for February, we forecast a 0.7% month-over-month seasonally adjusted expansion. This is derivative from the rebound in the month of oil production, which increased 3.6, but also an expansion in car output. However, these positive contributions will be partly offset by the observed decline in U.S. manufacturing production, which was reduced by 0.2% month-over-month.
That's great, thank you, Bruno. Well, be sure to check back tomorrow for more Ducoscopy updates.